Okay. 50 Shades Darker after 30 minutes. Let's see what the whole whatchamacallit. I'm not trying to. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. So one thing I forgot to mention. I think it was when she walked out of work right before getting drinks. There was this girl, and she was like, Anastasia still? Like, she came out of nowhere. It was a girl. She was coming out of work. The girl looks in bad shape. Like, literally, she almost looks like grayish, palish. Like, she looks gray. She just looks in bad shape. She's like, Anastasia still? And she was like, sorry, do I know you? And then the girl like walks off. The girl like walks off and walks away. Right? That happened. I need to mention that because then I just finished it. When 23 minutes, that's when, Christian and Anna is, making dinner and whatnot. He tells her he about to buy her company, this and that, there, boom, boom. And then, she comes back on to him, and then, they go to the room, and then, blah, blah, boom, bada, bam, bada, bam. They get there to laying there. Then he like, what made you wait for so long? And then she was like, she read, Jane Austen and Bront, and she was reading a book, and everything never really, matched up. Like, what made her wait so long? Why did she keep her virginity for so long? And she was like, just everything. And then she's like, she met you. So she met him, and then, whatever. Then at one point while they're like sleep or whatever, like you can kind of sort of wake up and then you kind of like phase off or something. She has one of them type of moments. So that girl, right? That girl ends up kind of sort of like, you see like a shadowy figure. Now this ain't supposed to be a horror movie or nothing like that, but she kind of like sees that figure or whatever, and then like when she like fully tried to like wake up or something like that, then the figure's like not there. But she basically saw that while she was like sleeping or whatever. Then, but she, basically go back to sleep, doze off. Then in the morning, Christian wakes up and she's just looking at him. She was like, "Oh, you look so peaceful while you sleep." And she gives him some whatever. And she's like, "There's not really much here for breakfast or whatever, unless you want some cold stir fry." He was like, "No." All right. So then they go to, I think things are okay. And then they go to like, whatchamacallit. They go, like, they basically go out to eat for breakfast or whatever. And he's like, okay, my parents are having this ball or galleria or whatever they're having. And she was like, I never been to one. I don't have a dress for this. Oh, they also have, okay, here's just another little slight flex, right? And like, so there are certain things that Christian does that should be alarming, right? Remember, in the first movie, he'd be like, "Where are you?" But then he always pop up. Like, she don't have to tell him where she's at. He always just be popping up. Joe, Netflix, you, yeah, he just be popping up a lot of times, right? So, in the morning, she's like, "Okay, here's this check for like $24,000." He was like, "I don't need that. I make that every 15 minutes." Now, she takes the check, she rips it up. Now, that's one thing that you should want, right? A shorty that don't want you for your money, that's one thing, right? So he was like, keep the check. I'll make that every 15 minutes. There's a flex, right? She rips the check up. He gets back up. He makes a call. Andrea, good morning. Go ahead and transfer $24,000 to Anastasia Still's account. Now, she's like, what? She's like, how do you have my account information, bank account information? She's like, no, wait, we need to talk about, how do you have my bank account information? Then they go to breakfast, right? They go to breakfast, and so like they're going to she's talking to him. He's telling her about the whole event. She's like, I ain't never been to one. I don't have no dress. What I'm gonna do about my hair? Da da da. Woo, woo, woo. He was like, oh, it ain't about nothing, whatever, right? She looks out the window. She sees the girl, and then the girl walks off. And then so she mentions to him. She was like, yo, there was this girl outside of work. She knew my name. Da da da. Woo, woo, woo. He was like, he said, I'll handle it or something. So she like, what you mean you'll handle it? She's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? And then she's like, you know her? So then they're walking, and he's talking. Then here's where it starts to get a little, right? Now, I don't know where she got the whole name Mrs. Robinson. I know it's like a little joke or whatever, but they're walking, he takes her to this spot. When they get in, I forget what kind of whatever, but he goes to the back, right? He goes towards the back, and this other older woman walks up to him, and they kind of having to talk, and she's watching them, and so it's one of those. It's just what the fuck going? You know what I'm saying? So like, so she's watching this, and so she watching him from afar, kind of like talk or whatever. It ain't nothing too crazy, but so when he walked back out, she be like, "Is that Mrs. Robinson?" He was like, "Her name is whatever he says her name." I need to go. I need to figure out her name, her actual name, because I feel like I don't know where she got the whole Mrs. Robinson thing from, but I feel like she had said that. Um, so she does that, and he says her real name, and then so she was like, he was like, that relationship ended years ago, and we're just, we're friends and we're business partners, right? Then he was like, so she was like, so what? Do you just bring all what? You bring all your subs here, not subscribers. You bring all your subs here for her validation, for her approval? And he was like, listen, it's not like that. Da, da, da. He was like, she was like, the other girl, she know the other girl, and this not the boom boom. So, but then he basically tells her about the other girl, and he was like, yeah. So he was like, oh, let's talk back at my place. So they go to have a talk at his place, and so she was like, he tells her like, okay, her name was Leah, something like that, and they had a relationship like 2 years ago. He was like, she wanted more, I didn't. Okay. He was like, she eventually like got married, and he thought like she would have been over it and was old and past him and stuff like that. But then the person she got married to, fatal car accident. So it was like, whatever. Um, and then he's like, I have my people looking into it. And she's like, your people? You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole little thing kind of, there's a lot. Now it's getting a little more muddled and a lot of this and the third, boom, boom, boom. So this is after 30 minutes. This is just 7 minutes after I just got through that one part. But I wanted to make sure I just come back for this 30-minute part. Because I did forget to mention the other girl. I need to go run it back just a little bit so I can get the older lady's name. Now, the older lady, she do look a little, like she should be, like she's an attractive older, you know what I'm saying, woman type of thing. So I'm gonna continue watching this and we'll see what else is going on. But yeah, this is 30 minutes in to 50 Shades Darker. And yeah, it's just there's a lot of like, now I don't, like, again, I told you I never read the book or whatever. So like plots and subplots and all this other stuff, like things to keep track of and what may or may not potentially happen. Again, right now, Jose and her boss both like her. What happens with that? Does she nip any and all that into the bud? That's one. Christian thing is getting worse. Like, the more that you kind of sort of like we're learning about Christian is looking worse and worse. Like, again, he's avoiding the question of how he be finding her and has all her information and stuff. He's avoiding that. And anything else? Yeah, and then he's kind of sort of, he's gotten away from, who he is at his core essence. Like, he's put like the whole dom and sub thing. Like, bro, like it's that has to, that for me, because I don't know too much about this third, but that was one of the first premises or whatever. So like, it has to kind of sort of get back to that somehow, some way. But the way it was looking, like she about to flip the script on him, and I ain't. But that's the next. This is after the first 30 minutes of the movie, so we're gonna continue.